Pisces. Boom bam. Hello, everyone watching. Welcome. We're back with Discuss with Ethel. Yay! I guess that's a program name now. And our guest today is Bryan. Say hi, Bryan.
Hi, Bryan.
Nice. This is your third time doing. Wait, this is our third. I think it's third.
It's the third.
I'm gonna have to start what is called inviting someone else to shake things up.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Our topic for tonight is we're gonna go back to the zombie thingy again from the discussion from a few weeks ago. So, we're gonna be talking about zombies, things about zombies, and the zombie criteria is like this. The zombie infection type is gonna be a virus, the classic one. Maybe not classic, but the general one, you know what I mean. The time of the outbreak, 1 year after the outbreak. Okay, the location will be USA. The zombies will be able to run. They have feral strength. Basically doesn't have any mental barrier holding them back. And there is a question here. Would getting an infection give you the abilities? I think maybe heightened predatory senses, disregarding to bodily harm, and abnormal grip strength. Okay, so that was the topic brought by Bryan. Yee, pachi. Okay, so Bryan,
So,
what's your take in this then? What do you have to say first? Do you have anything to say to open the topic?
well, I think it's best that I start off with how I think I would handle it, and we'll go from there. So, in my opinion, during a zombie apocalypse, the first thing you want to do is get away from everybody. Friends and family too. I mean everybody.
Even the life ones?
You don't want to. Hey, survival of the fittest, and at the end of the day, they're gonna slow you down. It may sound mean, but it's the truth. You don't want to be in a group.
Okay,
You don't want to trust anybody.
then.
You don't want to trust anybody either. So that's the first thing. I'm just gonna lay that on the table.
Okay.
Secondly, you want a rifle. Like it's necessary. Yes, a rifle. The reason I say that is because you're gonna be handling hordes of people trying to eat you, and also people trying to kill you for your supplies. And a shotgun has a limited amount of ammo. A handgun has a limited amount of ammo. The standard capacity for a rifle, generally speaking, is 30 rounds. So it's just the best option. And also the ammo, generally speaking, would be whenever you find ammo, generally it's going to be compatible with the standard platform that's available, which is an AR-15. So that's why I say that. Whenever it comes to handguns, everybody has a particular style that they prefer, which means different ammo types, meaning you're less likely to find compatible ammo for a handgun than you are with a rifle. That's not entirely the case, but generally that would be the case. A rifle is your best bet.
Then any third point?
The third point would be you want to get out of any type of city, town, suburbs. You don't want to be there. You want to be out in the wilderness. And the reason I say that is everybody's first thought is going to be to secure supplies. And where are they going to do that? You're not going to run out into the woods in the middle of nowhere and try to stock up on supplies there. So my opinion is that that should be where you would go, because it's easy to find food if you know what you're looking for. For example, my grandmother, she taught me how to make snares to catch rabbits, and that takes less than a day. And there you go, you have a meal for several days. It's just all about yeah, it's all about knowing what to look for and knowing not what to look for. The problem people have is everything is so convenient today, so that's what people are going to go for because that's what they're familiar with. They don't know how to hunt, they don't know how to fish, they don't know how to, you know, they don't know how to gather food from nature. So everybody's first impulse would be to go for food in stores. Even a year or two after the initial outbreak, people would still stay in cities, towns, places where there's already shelter or some type of previous infrastructure. That's going to be where everyone's at, and that also means you have to contend with, zombies, people trying to kill you for your supplies, and generally, there'd be bodies rotting out in the street. The water isn't safe to drink because there's probably going to be corpses contaminating it. That's something people don't consider. Like, there's not going to be working plumbing. There's not going to be people at a water treatment facility making sure the water is safe to drink. Not that there would be even running water. So staying in those cities, staying in those towns, staying in populated areas would actually increase your chance of infection. So that's why I say go out into the sticks and become a mountain man.
Mountain
go live in the forest. Just get away from people, because that's just increasing your chance of getting infected.
So basically, when there's a zombie infection, just get the hell away.
Yes.
Go to the woods. Okay. Any next point? Any other point?
Well, let's see. Another point I would like to make is you don't want a vehicle. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out.
Okay.
In games, movies, people try to get vehicles, make caravans. You don't want to do that because you're making yourself a target. And also, you're going to constantly be putting yourself at risk because a vehicle requires maintenance. A vehicle requires gasoline. And where do you get those things? In cities, in towns, places like that. So what are you doing? You're going and you're putting yourself at risk to get the supplies and the resources to keep a vehicle operating. Sure, you could siphon gas extremely easy. All you need is a water hose, and you cut it to like 4 or 5 feet, and there you go. You can just siphon the gas. That's easy, of course. And there'd be vehicles everywhere, just out in the middle of nowhere, in between cities. So sure, that's an option, but how long is that gonna last?
And then again, it's a city.
Yeah, well, I mean, there'd be vehicles out in the middle of nowhere, abandoned cars after people got infected, and yeah, so there would be vehicles technically not in a populated area, but like I said, the thing is, going for resources that are readily available and easy to get, you really think no one else is gonna have the same ideal?
So then you're gonna have to fight the people.
You're gonna have to fight the people, or you're gonna put yourself at risk to get to these locations, and then someone else already cleared it out a long time ago.
Yeah, that can happen. Okay. Any other point? I gonna respond to them after you present all your points.
All right. So another point is don't trust anybody. Because
Not
if
even
we're...
yourself?
Well, the only person you can trust in that type of world is yourself. So the reason I say that, though, is if it's an infection, you know, there's so many ways to catch an infection. You know, spit, you know, venereal contact, you know, sexual contact, basically. Getting a scratch, bite, even if like they touch a doorknob and then you touch that doorknob, you know. There's so many different ways for infections to spread. It's no joke. So you can't trust people because someone could seem perfectly fine, and you know, you're like, oh well, they don't have any bite marks, they don't have any scratch marks, it's perfectly safe. Next thing you know, you're biting someone's face off. So don't trust anybody.
Yeah, not trusting
And
anybody either. Oh my god. And
yeah.
then?
So my ideal of surviving a zombie apocalypse is going out into the wilderness. Don't build yourself some kind of, you know, survivalist base. You don't want to do that. You don't want to make yourself a target under any circumstance. So you don't want to settle down ever.
So you have to keep on the move.
You have to keep on the move. You have to stay away from people, stay away from civilization. And, you know, it's rough. It really is not surviving. Like, even if you were to go a day without your phone, for example, or there's a blackout, people pretend it's the end of the world. Like, this is the worst day of my life. I don't have electricity. I don't have an AC. I don't have internet. Whenever I was younger in middle school, though, my dad wasn't able to pay the bills for like a whole month because he had lost his job. And we lived I've lived mostly in like rural areas throughout my life, and this was no exception. We lived like 10 miles down a dirt road in a small town that only had 2 stores in it. And the town's population was like 400 people, and we're 10 miles down this dirt road, and it's out in the woods, out in the middle of nowhere. I'm talking there was like mountain lions and stuff out there, and deers and rabbits. It was straight up wilderness basically. And he couldn't pay the bills for a month, so we had no electricity for a whole month at my house. So whenever we wanted to charge stuff, I would take whatever I wanted to charge with me to school, and I would charge it there. And then whenever I got home, I had to make sure not to use it too much, otherwise I'd be screwed, because I would also use it as a flashlight. And then we used to have we had our own water pump, so we got water from a well, and we didn't have to pay the water bill. But guess what? That took an electric pump. No lights, or no electricity, I should say. We didn't have water, so we had to go, and we had one of those 5-gallon buckets, the Gatorade buckets, and we'd borrow water from our neighbor. So we had to fill that thing up, and so we had 5 gallons of water a day, and that's not a lot, because what if we wanted to wash ourselves? We had to wash ourselves with rags. What if we wanted to flush the toilet? We couldn't flush the toilet but like twice a day, so meaning, you know, everybody would go, and we couldn't flush. We only got to flush twice a day, and then that was also our drinking water. Yeah, so
rough time, huh?
yeah, for a whole month, and I can tell you it's pretty rough. And the moral of that story, it's not me trying to complain or anything. It's rather, if that happens, a zombie apocalypse, there's not going to be infrastructure. There's not going to be water treatment facilities. There's not going to be people operating power plants or keeping the power grid online. It's going to be total darkness. Like, we're going to get set back hundreds of years, and people can't even survive without their phone for a day. So it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you don't want to trust people. You don't want to be in a populated area, because it's honestly gross. Like, it's really gross. If you stay in one spot, it gets nasty quick, especially whenever you can't get rid of your waste. You can't, like, it's bad. Because like I was saying earlier, infection, it's really easy for infection to spread, especially whenever there's no way for us to get rid of the stuff that's causing the infection or could be a way of infections to spread. So yeah.
So the easiest way to get clean, just go to somewhere else that is clean.
Basically.
and let nature just take care of your waste from the previous previous place. Oh my god, I can't English. Okay, any other points?
Well, I think that'll hold us off for a minute.
Okay then. So let me response to them. So we have the zombie infection type of virus, and there's an outbreak after 1 year. So we're talking about like 1 year after the outbreak here, right? But
yes.
What kind of zombies are these though? Are they corpses now? Like just human corpses going around?
Well, I wouldn't call them corpses because an infection of that variety wouldn't necessarily kill someone, but rather it'd be they're prone to acts of violence, attacking people, killing people, even eating people. So it doesn't necessarily mean they have to be dead, because at that point it wouldn't be an infection. That would be something else entirely, because an infection doesn't bring stuff back to life from the dead.
Well, maybe like human corpse, like being controlled by a parasite or something, isn't it?
Yeah, something like a parasite would be what that would be.
But we're talking about infection, so this is this kind of zombie is basically just like angry people, super angry people. I see.
Yes.
I see. 1 year though. So doesn't that mean does this mean the zombies will eat each other as well? Because they're still people. They still meat.
Yeah, and I imagine that they would. And I imagine that they would, or maybe they would develop some kind of hive mentality. Who knows? But I think that I think they would stick to predatory instincts and predatory tendencies, such as if these zombies can kill each other just as easy as a non-infected person could, why would they go for each other? That would be the same as two lions trying to kill each other for food rather than killing a gazelle. If that makes sense.
Okay, so but there's already 1 year, and there are and at the outbreak there're gonna be a lot of these zombies, right?
Yes, a lot of them, because there's currently there's billions of people on the planet right now. So I imagine that first year would be pretty hectic.
So but after 1 year, wouldn't most of the zombies either die of starvation or being eaten by other zombies, or maybe killed by people? And probably they're gonna be much less survivors, because people not surviving good enough, dying from sickness, dying from starvation, dying from other people. Basically, there are gonna be a lot of deaths out there after 1 year. Wouldn't that make wouldn't that make the populated area be not safer now? Unless these zombies are also mating.
Well, think of it this way. So for a whole year, we'll take a densely populated city like Chicago. If you have millions of people in one spot and this outbreak happens, initially nobody really thinks much of it, but then it progresses to the point where it's the zombification, and people start eating each other and killing each other. After everything falls apart, after it reaches a point where it's past the point of no return, there's gonna be millions of bodies in that city, correct? And there's not gonna be enough people to get rid of the bodies. There's not gonna be people motivated to get rid of the bodies, because that's a lot of dead bodies to look at, and people can't even handle one in some cases, let alone millions.
So
and on top of that, moving those bodies or trying to get rid of those bodies that's a chance of infection. And if you know what that infection does, would you want to go willingly, not being someone, not a paid government official who does it for a living, but just someone trying to get rid of the bodies for the sake of it? Is that something you would do? If you were in those shoes, would you go to near an infected body and try to do anything to get rid of it?
I
Or would you
just get
avoid
the
it at
hell
all
away out of
costs?
there. But there,
You see what I mean?
wouldn't there be like rats or something that gonna eat the body? I mean, it's 1 year. There are.
Yes.
I mean, every day there are probably like dozens of dead animals being killed by other animals out there in the wild, and there should be a lot of bodies in the wild, but they seem clean. Seem pretty clean. They still look pretty clean, right? Though to be fair, they're not clumped into this one giant area like us humans.
Yeah, because the thing is, animals tend to avoid each other at all costs, unless they have some kind of symbiotic relationship, such as, you know, a hippopotamus and birds. You land on the hippopotamus to eat the scum off of it to keep it clean, so the hippopotamus doesn't mind. But then you don't see like an alligator and a gazelle being best friends.
Yeah, but
so animals avoid each other, so they're not densely populated. And also consider that humans have basically broken out of the food chain, as to where every other animal, you know, the population is controlled by predator-prey relationship, while humans have broken out of that, and we're now at a point where there's just so many of us that we have to bury our dead, or we have to burn our dead, and we can't be this. It can't be the same as it is naturally, where there's you know, natural predators or scavengers or stuff like vultures, for example.
So human can still be eaten, though, right? The corpses,
yes.
Especially by these other zombies. Are they even going to? Are they still gonna like eat the corpses or anything like that? I mean, it's just meat lying around, and I'm pretty sure when this feral human kills someone, they're gonna finish the meat, right? It's not like those zombies where they just take a little bite and then leave for the person to become a zombie.
You can only eat so much. Your stomach is the size of your fist, generally, like in most cases. So you really can't eat that much of a person in one sitting.
Yeah, but
and
there's still food lying around. Those corpses that are from that human that infected, and there are also like crabs, rats, and then maybe like they're gonna be, because the city is getting less and less populated. What about the animal life that will come? Maybe like mountain lions or raccoons or something that gonna eat these corpses, or maybe bacteria and stuff.
Well, I think bacterias would be the #1 culprit. So think of it like this: if you have millions of dead bodies in one spot, the zombies or other animals that would eat a dead body can only eat so much before all of those bodies start rotting to the point that it would kill them to eat it.
So then the place is gonna get filled with rotting bodies that the only thing that can clean that up is probably the bacteria.
And that's why I say that's another reason, like I said, avoid populated areas.
Avoid the cities. Okay,
yes.
nada. So even let's say that there's this small town, everyone in there is dead, including the infected. It's still not a good idea to go back there, because still dead bodies, like and then contaminated things, and also the supplies are probably already either gone or gone bad, huh? I mean, it's 1 year. What's the point? What's the point of coming back? And then there's also these the abilities, like able to run. Basically, they don't have this mental limit that limit their physical ability, so they like, because we as normal humans, we have like our brain doesn't allow us to do some things, right? Because it's gonna break the body. Is that what you think?
Or think of it like this. Or think of it like this. Rather, for example, I could right now bite off my thumb. My body, my mouth has enough. There's enough strength in my jaw to bite my thumb off right now with little effort. However, if I start to bite my thumb, my brain's gonna tell me to stop.
That's
and so I'm not able. Yeah, so I'm not able to bite off my thumb. I can, but I can't, if that makes sense. And it's the same for if I try to bite off someone else's thumb. My brain would see that I have a thumb in my mouth, and it would tell me, "You need to stop."
Bro, why are you doing this, bro? Stop it, bro.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
basically,
if you didn't have that mental block, you would easily just be able to bite and like just bite into somebody, no problem.
I see. But then, what doesn't that mean? Also, doesn't that also mean like me? The brain will allow the body to like move in such a way that it might break something, like maybe run too strong, or punch too strong, claw too strong, that until maybe like the fingers bend and stuff like that. Wouldn't that mean these zombies, they will become very dangerous? But wouldn't that also mean they're gonna hurt themselves a lot? Like,
yeah, definitely. But
maybe
at the same time, you gotta hope that they hurt themselves before they can hurt you.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, but the point I was getting is that, like, but then that means like these zombies after this 1 year. But yeah, it's gonna go back to like the thing we discussed just now. If most of the zombies are already like lost their leg or something like that, it's still not safe to go back to cities. But wouldn't that also mean if it's already 1 year, is it possible that these zombies are already like handled, like they're gone because the humans can fight back?
Possibly. That's assuming that the infection is cured. That's the thing. You know, it's an infection. So even if all these zombies that were there last year are gone, that doesn't mean the infection isn't spreading and there's people get infected that have healthy bodies.
So even if all the zombies are dead, someone new might get infected somehow. Because the real enemy here isn't the zombies here, it's the infection thingy.
Yes.
Okay, so your first point was what was it again? I forgot. go out of the city was don't go solo. Your first point was going solo, right? So if everyone just gonna go solo, then how are we going to rebuild the civilization though?
Who says we need to rebuild civilization?
So we're just gonna survive, because this is basically the end. There's no hope of going back.
Well, how would you rebuild in that situation?
I don't know. Maybe get to the wild together with people,
Together with people, and then somebody goes to the city looking for some supplies, and then they come back to your camp and they're infected, and then everybody gets infected. And the problem with that is, logically speaking, if you knew that going into the city or going near any place where there might be infection would get you infected, that's like a logical line of thought, right? But unfortunately, you can't expect everybody in a group to think logically. However,
someone gonna go there, huh?
There's always that one guy.
always
And I
one
say one
guy
guy because it probably would be a guy, not gonna lie. But anyways, I digress.
Okay.
The thing is, you can't trust everybody in a group to do the logical or correct thing. There's always going to be that one person, and that's why I don't think being in it, like, I think even just a pair, 2 people is too much.
So
You
basically,
like, just dealing with it on your own is enough. Adding people on, you're just adding to your problems. It's not worth it.
I see. So surviving alone is already hard enough. You don't need the social problem to go along with it.
Correct.
But wouldn't we having someone else let's say the other people you're with are as good as you, and wouldn't that help you in the process as well? Maybe like they have other kind of abilities, other kind of knowledge, maybe, or and maybe they can back you up. Maybe you got hurt somewhere, and then someone can heal. Someone can help you heal. You know, can prop you up or something. And if you're alone and you're not getting infected, then that means there is a chance that a group of people, none of them have these infections, right? There is a chance that a group of people doesn't have the infection. That's what I wanted to say. So if you can find that kind of people, wouldn't it be nicer to have those people around and build somewhere outside the cities and restart from there, you know? And make sure there are male and female.
Oh.
Yeah. Do loot stuff, holding hands, you know? And then and then depopulate.
Okay. Well.
Well, that's one way to.
When and where?
Whenever what?
Holding hand. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, so as to what you're saying, I think that building, like trying to rebuild, is a bad idea. You're making yourself a target. I can admit scavengers, groups of people just looking for supplies and not looking to make friends. Well, just because you're in the middle of nowhere doesn't mean you're impossible to find.
Well, just shoot anyone else then.
Well, that's the problem. They can shoot back.
There are many of us, probably.
What if there's a lot of them?
Well, they're a group as well, so maybe they can do the repopulating thing. No, I guess it's gonna be fighting.
You're really fixated on repopulating.
Hiya, humanity must survive.
Nah.
It's gonna be back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the tribal era then. It's not gonna be safe, of course. No, it's not gonna be safe. But yeah, it's basically the tribal era all over again.
Yeah, I just personally think that if you build, it makes you an easier target versus if you stay on the move. And okay, I can say maybe a small group would be okay.
How about 5 people tops. Then? We repopulate, but we are in the nomad lifestyle. Go from one place.
Well, nomads are fine, but you don't want to be out in an open area, which is generally where nomads would stick to, like out in open areas. You don't want to do that. And you also don't want to go and just go into the woods and build yourself a nice little community in the woods, because you may think that it's impossible to find you, but the problem is whenever you have a lot of people in one place, it's a lot easier to find them.
Yeah, I
versus
mean,
if you stick to a small group.
You're gonna be making fire and all that stuff. It's easy to see fire in dark
noises.
Night. Yeah, noises.
Anyways.
And holding noises.
Anyways,
okay, next
so
point then?
that's why I say stick to yourself, and worst comes worst, a small group. Don't build a community. At least not 1 year in. Not 1 year in. So, on to the next point.
Okay, so next one is rival. So you're saying that you're gonna a rifle is the most suitable weapon for this because it's easy to find their ammo and but what if you can't shoot though? What if you
What do you
suck
mean
at
if you
shooting?
can't shoot?
What if you suck at shooting? You know, maybe
Well, then you're probably screwed anyways. Because these particular zombies are more or less immune to pain. They're stronger than you are, and they're out for blood. So you're probably screwed if you can't shoot.
What about
and so this conversation wouldn't concern you because you're probably going to be one of the first ones to go.
What about the ammo though? You can't find ammo in the woods. So when you run out of the rifle ammo, you're gonna have to go back to the city to get some, or you just dump the rifle, or just throw away the rifle then when it runs out of ammo in the woods.
Well,
maybe not throw
here's
away,
another
just
point.
don't use.
Here's another point, and you're not gonna like this one, but this is one of the other reasons why I say don't stick to a group. If you run out of ammo, find someone who hasn't. And yeah.
Then kill them? Yeah, but they have ammo though.
Who said you have to use your gun? There's plenty of ways to get rid of someone without shooting them.
Well, so it is gonna be the stealthy way, huh?
Whatever it takes. You know, you gotta survive.
Narahada.
And
okay,
the reason why I say rifle is because rifles are incredibly easy to shoot. They have low recoil. It's easy to aim them. It's just designed for you to easily use it. Has a large ammo capacity, being 30. Well, that's standard, not large. That's a different topic though. And you know, it's accurate, plenty of range. It's going to put something down relatively easy. Like you're not going to have to shoot someone multiple times with the rifle,
just
like
one
in video games.
Should probably already do it, huh?
I mean, that's just like you're not going to have 100% accuracy, obviously. But if you put a bullet in something, it's going down. That's just facts. Like it's not Hollywood. It's not a video game. Like so, you're going to miss. But if you do hit the person, game over.
But you have to finish the person quickly though. They can use bandage and heal themselves in 10 seconds. That's what Battle Royale games teach me.
You're gonna get bonked.
Okay, your next point is oh my god, the third point. What's it again? The third point. I think it had something to do with hunting. Was it?
Yes, hunting. I don't think that you should go scavenging for food in the city or trying to get food that's already been processed. Like people are going to go for preserved foods, canned goods, preserves such as jam and stuff, or just any kind of preserved food, like even processed food like snack cakes. You know, people are going to go for that. They're going to try to live off that. First of all, it doesn't provide you a lot of nutrition. Second of all, it's just generally unhealthy for you, and in that state of the world's in that state, you don't want to be making unhealthy decisions. And third, everybody's going to be looking for that, meaning you're going to have competition. So if you can get far enough away from society, and you know how to hunt, or even if you don't know, you'll learn, and you know, sink or swim. You're gonna be able to get yourself a steady supply of food if you know what to look for, and you're gonna be able to do it safely, or as safe as it can be in comparison to going somewhere where everyone else is looking for food and willing to kill you for it.
Okay, yeah. Also, because those processed food, they're not gonna last forever. Someone in the future, they gonna run out or gone bad. Meanwhile, in the wild, the supplies would be basically unlimited for just one person, right? Those animals.
Yeah, because the deers, you don't kill all of them. You let some of them get away so they can hold hands.
You can hold hands.
Yeah.
Or you can just kill all of them for XP though.
Why would you do that?
So yeah, basically like that. If you go to the wild from the first place, I guess then you can learn to, while everyone else are busy in the city, you're alone in the wilderness, and learn how to hunt and hope that no bear will come on your way and just claw your body while you're at it. Yeah.
While they scavenged for supplies, I studied the sword.
I studied the sword. Okay, but in the wilds, right? What about the animals though? Would this infection affect the animals?
Well, that's the thing. Infections don't infect every species the same. So it could very well be that the animals wouldn't get the infection at all, but at the same time, the animals might not get the infection, but be a carrier, such as rats with the bubonic plague.
No, get it. So that's also the risk of getting infected out there then alone, huh?
But it's a lot lower because if you go out in the wilderness, you may come across a deer that you kill and cook and eat, but it had the infection. Versus being in the city where there's literally anywhere between just a couple of hundred or to millions of corpses, and the infection's literally probably in the air, and you can't walk safely without a hazmat suit through that city.
And if you can survive in the wild where the infection like probably airborne or something, then probably that means you need a high amount of those infections to get infected in the first place, huh? For the effect to take over. Anyway, either way, even if the animals got infected, what's the difference? They're already feral to begin with.
Yeah.
There's no difference. They're just animals. Just eat them. Actually, no, don't eat the infected ones. Okay, Ethel, and then the next point. Yeah, I already forgot the last point. What was it again? Do you remember the last point?
Darn. I don't.
Okay, I don't remember the last point as well.
It's fine.
Oh yeah, but it's already 1 year, right? And these zombies, they follow their feral instinct. Wouldn't they also go into the woods as well to search for food?
Possibly. They would probably go wherever they can find food, and I doubt they'd be really picky about whether or not it's a person or not. And we also had the discussion of wouldn't they eat each other? So
they can go
ultimately,
into the wild, and after a year, they're probably already spread enough that they're not already confined to the city area. They're already way in the wild, maybe in a group or alone, just randomly, you know.
Well, the thing is, they would only stick to a group as long as it was convenient for them. Whenever the food gets so thin that they're roaming for days without finding any food, they would probably eat each other.
But then again, it's surviving in the wild, and if you just happen to find one of these infected that have already gone into the wild and got bitten by them, well, that I guess that's the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you're surviving in the wild. What's the purpose in that? There's not a purpose to just stay alive as long as you can, right? Then that's basically the end. Either that or when you run out of food or something like that. Yeah.
So you think it's bad to just live to survive?
No, it's not. It's not bad. It's not bad. Just that. What's the point then? What's the point of surviving?
What's the point? What's your purpose in living right now?
I have entertainment.
What's your purpose?
I have entertainment. I got anime to watch, games to play. There are things I want to do.
But what does the entertainment really do?
Nothing.
But nothing.
But it's something to look forward to, right? They entertain
I think
me.
I think it's a perfectly fine notion to look forward to waking up each day.
So yes, keep living, even in the wild, surviving, even with a purpose, and hopefully dying of old age. Just enjoy
maybe
life.
I do have a goal. Maybe I do have a goal.
Ooh, what is it?
Find myself a cave. I'll wait for some survivors to walk by. You know, I'm not really picky about if it's a man or a woman. You know, it's something to look forward to, right?
Well, what if there is no human survivor that come by though? But there's rabbit there.
Well, then I guess I'll have to work with whatever wildlife comes by then.
It's furry time.
Maybe find myself a nice looking tree bark with a knot in it.
Tree bark.
Yeah.
And then.
So as long as I can find entertainment, right?
Next thing.
Also, I
think we know.
I think you've forgotten that things such as books exist.
Ah, there's books.
Or hobbies, you know, craftsmanship, meditation, poetry.
So yeah. I get it now.
You see?
Those
you just completely fixated. Yeah. You just totally forgot that there's been human culture and entertainment for at least 10,000 years before electricity was a thing. I think you just totally forgot that, didn't you? Look at her, she's spoiled, guys.
I can survive in the wild. I'll show you. I can survive in the wild. Just give me fun in Wi-Fi though.
We're gonna see her on the news, and it's not gonna be good news.
Okay, so basically, when there's a zombie apocalypse, just go into the woods and survive by your own. Don't trust anyone. Don't make group. Don't do. Basically, just survive alone until the end of the day, and entertain yourself with whatever you can get your hands with. And before we know it,
whoever you can get your hands on.
Okay. And before we know it, the world will be filled with human animal hybrid, huh? From this one person.
Hey. Someone's got to do it.
Someone's gonna do it. Hey, we gotta repopulate, right? Okay, so anything else you wanna say? We already at 50 minutes ish.
I think I've said all I need to say.
I'll write it down. In that case, I also think I already said everything that I gotta say. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. This is the end of the discussion, and we already got into the conclusion of go solo, survive alone. Don't repopulate with other human. That kind of implies it is okay to repopulate with rabbits or something.
The only person it's okay with is Ethel.
Nani?
Because she's the only one worth protecting. I don't care about the rest of you.
Oh, more brisket then.
Well, sure there'll be brisket. It'll just be human cow brisket. It'll be weird hybrid. Don't ask questions. Just eat the food, damn it.
Just eat it. Just eat. Okay then, Ethel is already 1 hour. No, it's not exactly 1 hour, but yeah, you know what? You get my point. Anything else you wanna say right before we go? Maybe, I don't know. Say bye. Say hi.
Bye. Hi.
Bye. Hi. Okay then, thank you so much for watching, guys, or listening. I guess you're listening while doing something else. We're not actually. There aren't really any much to watch ear. So yeah, thank you, bye bye. Awesome.
She told herself to set up.
What? Shut up. No. No, I didn't.